Mohbad's father, mother, and wife, Omomi, are required to be present during the private autopsy which the courts has granted the Mohbad's family. Hello everyone, you're so much welcome. It's been a while we talked about Mohbad's family, the issues concerning them, for a reason. I saw one or two comments of people asking, oh, no update on the coroner's inquest that took place. I think it's about 5 days ago now, almost a week. Well, the coroner's inquest is a major one. At least this one is not like this one said, this one said. This is what the court has said, and whatever the court has said carries so much weight. Now, we know that we've been on coroner's inquest since I think it was October last year. Mohbad passed on 12 September 2023. I think Corona started in October or November last year. And since then, it's been from one to another. And we are thinking, like my people will say, I can only roundabouts, as in no progress. And also, we've not done the analysis of the interview Baba Mohbad did at, I think, is it TVC? No, sorry, Arise News with veteran journalists Ruben Abati and Rufai Hosseini. We're going to do that if you're able to squeeze in sometimes, much later. Now, this particular coroner's inquest, Baba has been saying that he's not satisfied with the result of the autopsy done by the Lagos state government and he's not going to accept it, and he wants a private autopsy done. And his supporter have been saying that there's a GoFundMe second one that has been opened that people should contribute. And from her also, she has revealed that that money needed should be donated into the GoFundMe and all of that. And that the GoFundMe has not been this second part. The first part was done earlier, months ago. Now this is the second part. Now, looking at this now, what really happened at this coroner's inquest? I'm going to quote what Punch newspaper said. Of course, later we're going to bring you various discussions on platforms and everything, but this is it's coming from Punch newspaper. So the coroner's inquest was seated at the Ikorodu area of Lagos, and at this time decided to grant the family permission to conduct an independent autopsy and toxicology tests on the late singer Ilerioluwa Aloba, also known as Mohbad. The family has applied for this, citing suspicious circumstances surrounding the eye of the deceased. The court's decision comes after the previous autopsy conducted by the Lagos state government, which was declared inconclusive. The Aloba family's legal team had rejected the results and pushed for an independent post-mortem. According to statements obtained by Punch Online on Friday and signed by the head of the family's legal team, Taiwo Odumosu, the court during a sitting on Wednesday also ordered that all legal expenses for the conduct and process of the toxicology test should be borne by the family. Let me quote the statement. The court has ordered that all legal expenses for the conduct and process of the toxicology test will be borne by the Aloba family. Deceased father, mother, and wife, are also required to be present during the autopsy. So, more quote a particular summary, conclusively. There are a lot of nuances that, of course, would have taken place in between, but this is what Punch newspaper brought out. So, I think one thing, like I said, we'll bring you people's contributions on platforms. Team A will share their own, Team B will share their own. We'll bring it to you. But with this one now, the courts, from what I could pick from some places, that the judge this time around had no time for Gbegbe. I'm still going to quote some things. Had no time for roundabouts. And the voice was quite stern. They said the voice of the judge this time around, Emma waste time, as in, we are not making progress with what is going on, and it will get to a point in cases when, even if it's not the same judge that has been sitting, there's something called briefing, for the next person taking on the case. Nobody, you guys are not whatever. They will be stern in their decision making. And as much as possible, judges try to be very democratic. That's what a court is for. Not on sentiment, but on fact, on paper, fact on evidence that you can show. Now, they have said Lagos State has borne the cost of the first autopsy. And since you guys do not want it, right? Whatever private autopsy you guys want to do now, go ahead and do it. You have the permission. Baba has been applying for the permission for this private autopsy for some time. But now the court has said at this coroner's inquest sitting that, okay, you have the permission, go ahead. Go and do it. However, Lagos State has no kobo to give on this private autopsy. And when you want to do this private autopsy, Baba must be there. Iya Mohbad must be there. Wunmi, wife, must be there. Since there is a major trust issues. Now I'm going to go back to when this autopsy started. From the very beginning, when Mohbad passed away, Wunmi was the one that approached Femi Falana. That's Baba Femi Falana's son. And Baba reached out himself to Baba Mohbad, right? Which Baba Mohbad said also. And there was an allegation that they wanted to bribe Baba with 50 million naira, though it was later watered down and debunked, kind of. So, once the family was not able to reach an agreement on one legal representation, right? That was when we started having African TV, who also had a lawyer, and they were doing 70-30 agreements, and Wunmi was on the other side as well, with Baba Falana's team on pro bono terms. At that time, Yoruba will say, Togiri Obalanu, Alangba Ole Wo. If the walls does not have cracks, right? Lizards cannot find their way through. From that point, we knew there were going to be 1,000,001 mistakes that will be made on this case. Ask me why. The reason being, if they had a united legal front, when Lagos State now agreed, because we Nigerians shouted at that time that, Baba shouldn't have buried this boy. Why? We should have found out. We need to do autopsy. We need to do this. And it wasn't because of our shouting, no, that the autopsy got done, no. Some people took it upon themselves to go and make an official request to the government. You see, all this our shouting online is very sweet. But if you're not a foot soldier to get things to move, nothing moves. I will not go back to the tale of when Iyabo Ojo started, and she was always quoting a legal team, a foundation, because things have to be done right. Like I said, sometimes you don't need to be literate to understand everything, but you need to be able to understand and ask questions of how things work. It's just, for example, maybe you are a doctor. Now, when lawyers are talking about legal stuff, it's not your field, but you can ask questions. And once your mind is open to know what rules in this particular sphere, you'll be more informed. Now, going back to what we were saying, when the autopsy of Mohbad was done, remember, it was revealed that Blessing was there. Blessing is Baba's first child. Blessing was there as, part of this team from Baba, as in family. But do you think Blessing will be looking at how she won't be able to stand it. It's traumatic. What would have been done was for the family to have its own pathologist, which the law will always accept to be in that picture. Because Blessing is a tailor. To wá ní kó dúró síbi tó ti ń ṣe autopsy, ó dá kí ló fẹ́ sọ fún wọn pé kán ṣe o. Ṣá sọ pé òkè bó ṣe gbé kíndìnrín yẹn jáde, wọn ò gbé dáadáa ni. Àbí tó bá ṣe incision láti get specimen, láti inú lungs, àbí láti inú stomach lining, animal há dáadáa ni. It's not our field. It's not our field. There's just so much you can do at that particular point in time. The most sensible thing to have done from that point, if they had gotten a united front of a legal team, which I am still saying unapologetic, would have been Baba Falana's chambers. 1,000,001 cases làwọn yẹn mà ti handle. I rò pé gbogbo cases ló máa ń come online. Àwọn solid cases ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí between families, between people that never made headlines, right? But the right things were done and they were able to get results. It might take a while, just the way Timothy's case took a while. Timothy's case took like 2 years. But at the end of the day, we saw it. Because the family, Bay authority, when they needed to write a letter, they would write a letter as a family and give permission for Oriyomi Hamzat to do what he had to do with legal representation of Baba Falana. So Baba will be there, Wunmi will be there. Should you remember the previous coroner's inquest that they did, that they were now showing videos of how the autopsy was done, and Baba was told to go out so that he won't, because he can't stand. It's not okay for him to be there. Now, court is also for sheriffs, process the first subject, Mohbad tó kú sí, ẹ̀yin náà àfojú winá. Baba believe nǹkan tí Lagos State, ó yá ẹ wá dúró síbẹ̀. Ìyá ẹ̀, ó yá. Though Mohbad's mother and Wunmi are not contesting the result of, let's be very, very clear, as at this point of this podcast. They did not. But kini, court kó wọn papọ̀ ni. Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ní kini ni, ó yá ẹ máa wà ńbẹ̀. It is a condition given by the court that no private autopsy will be done without Baba Mohbad, Iya Mohbad and Wunmi. Ẹ̀tọ́ máa dákú síbẹ̀ kó dákú. Ẹ̀tọ́ máa dákú. Adájí wọ́n á tún mú mi, wọ́n á dà sí lórí. Wọ́n á gbọ́ oxygen kìíní sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́, wọ́n á fún. Yes, it has gotten to that point. And Wunmi made a request saying that she wants her husband to be buried before the 12th of September 2024, which is going to be a 1-year anniversary. And the judge said, no, you cannot. Baba said he doesn't want to bury him without the private autopsy. Okay, because the court is not talking about DNA. Because think of the coroner's inquest with DNA. I remember Baba has applied to a court. I don't know if it's that particular court, that he wants permission to conduct DNA tests for Liam. And it was not approved yet. Because cooking is automatic. The only person that can get an automatic permission for you to do autopsy for your son or daughter is the person that gave you belle. That's it. Any other person who is contesting it has to go through the court of law. And it's not automatic. The court will find out if your reason is malicious or not. That's it. Or if you want to say, okay, Emi àti Wunmi, we slept together on so date, so definitely, there's a probability, which is very high, that the son she asked for her husband is mine, right? But in this case, it has to be proven that there's no malicious. So back to what we were saying. How will Baba Mohbad, Iya Mohbad, and Wunmi be able to stand there and remember this autopsy is second series, not first series? Ẹ lọ bèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó ń ṣe geneticist. Go and Google it. Go and YouTube toggle. Go and use it. Go on Google search. Go and ask. Be specific with your search. The process alone, for those of us who are not in the medical line, is a round of trauma. And this is 9 months later, going to 10 months. It's not for the faint-hearted. So we are going to wait for the Aloba family, since they refused. Because the court told them, Lord, discuss láàrin ara yín. Go and talk amongst yourselves. And agree. Go and do a family meeting and resolve. This case is now a case of what a family should sit down to talk about. When the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? Would your son or daughter bring a guy she's dating or a lady she's dating, and when you are asked what's your name, kọ́ ní bá family wo ló ti wá, kó ní family alọ́ba. Ò ní wọlé àdúrà kó lọ kétírà àbí kó lọ ṣí bíbélì kó máa ka Psalm. When there's no unity in a family, every àjákù ayé ló lè jálu family yẹn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, if there's no unity of purpose in a family, kò síbi tí ò lè kọlu family yẹn. Family tó ń gbàdúrà lóòrèkóòrè gan, tó ń work in unity, tó kó ayé bá máa sọlù wọ́n, strength, spiritual and physical strength tá máa fi dúró ló máa jẹ́ kán supersede ẹ̀. Eléyìí máa kọ́ gbogbo wa lọ́gbọ́n. Àwa ta ní family tó wà united tá à mọ̀ yìí, ó yẹ ká máa dúpẹ́ fún ara wa pé ẹ jẹ́ ká gbóríyìn fúnra wa. Inú mi dùn pé family alárùbáríkà tí mo ti jáde, mi ò mọ iyì tẹ́lẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí mò ń rí sample nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, I appreciate my family. When the father and the mother, tí wọ́n bá ti get it right, tí wọ́n dẹ̀ lè put some things in place, tí wọ́n lè look beyond some dirty things tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí, láti resolve family issues, there will always be a problem. There will always. There's no magic. So the question is, again, as a round off, how would Baba Mohbad, Iya Mohbad, and Wunmi be able to withstand being present at this private autopsy that is going to be done for Mohbad exactly 9 months later? A máa fẹ́ gbọ́ kọ́mẹ̀ntì. Like I always say, bẹ́ẹ̀ pè nínú podcast yìí, ẹni tó bá lóun fẹ́ wá ṣépè síbí, èpè tí ìrànràn ẹ̀ lè jẹ́ tán máa yó ni kò ṣẹ́ síbí o. Dẹ̀ lè ṣépè fún bàbá Mohbad ń bí, lè ṣépè fún Ìyá Mohbad mi, lè ṣépè fún Wunmi ń bí. Torí eru lè pè, ẹni da eru lè eru tọ̀. Ẹ gbọ́ ọpọlọ kalẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ nǹkan tó wà nínú ọpọlọ yín. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ nítùbí ìnùbí, nítorí pé like some people said, there's been no follow up and everything. Tó bá ti yá, George yẹn ti sọ fún yín pé ó yá, ẹnì ṣó wájú, máa jó lọ. À ń wẹ̀yìn. Ire o.